Question.
Yeah, so yesterday we were saying that if you have an extra entrance, it allots you another 4 amot for loading space, and then the rest, like the rest you just split down evenly.
Can we get the board? Can we really do? Or do you don't have the connection to the TV thing?
No, not right now.
He misses the board. He misses He's the rabbi.
Mosaic Baruch.
The house is still there.
He doesn't like the fact that they're using the board, not even though it's there.
The house on the board.
Neri drew a picture of the house, still there a little bit. All right. And please, can you put dedicated to Abraham, aka Shefa?
So basically, what we spoke about last time was that let's say you have a house here, you have another house here. They share a courtyard, which means that you have a main road here, and then you have this alleyway that goes into here.
A boy?
Yeah.
So you have houses on the other side also, let's say.
Yeah. So there's a house here too, and a house here also. And then what happens is, all this space, okay, is courtyard space. Right? Courtyard.
But we're not concerned, let's say, on one side. We're just talking about the other side.
Let's say these two people, right? Question is, so how did they want to divide this space? They were sharing all the space. They want to divide all the space. So how do they divide it? So you divide it evenly. You have to give half. What if it's so small? What if two people own?
Well, we know there has to be a minimum of 4x4, at least 4x4.
Let's say two people bought this house, and they want us to divide this area. So how much do you need to give each one? 4, right? We said you need to give each one 4. What if this house has two? They split it, and this guy has now 2 entrances. So now you have to give him 4 for this one and 4 for this one, and whatever's left you split evenly. Okay, fine. And then we said, what if in front of his house he has a thing called an aksadra? What's an aksadra? A pavilion. Okay? So in front of this house he has some sort of small roofed attachment. So what happens? You would think that what? You would think that now I have to give him 4 from where? Not from the entrance of his door. 4 from the entrance of the pavilion. And the Gemara says no. The Gemara says since technically you could bring your animal in there, therefore you don't have to give him another 4. This pavilion, included within that pavilion, will be his 4 for his door, and you don't have to add another one on top. Okay? Okay, very good. So back to the Gemara. We're on 11b1. Tanu Rabbanan. The Rabbi.
You did a review, right? You did a review. If I know this trick of doors, I tell my brother who lives in Bavel, hey, I'm gonna build a house. I send a messenger. We're gonna split it together. Yada yada yada. Can I put on my house 16 doors and his house 1 door?
If the
What's up with these lights? I don't know why they keep doing it.
It's okay. It's the construction. So listen. So in such a case, yeah, technically, if they agree to build, if the zoning laws allow you to build such a thing,
No zoning laws.
there were.
There were.
We're discussing them right now.
All right. No, you're gonna see they are. They're gonna see they are.
They had DOB back then also?
Yes. But if you are allowed to do so, then yes, you're entitled for each door to have a loading space. Now, we don't mean doors. It doesn't make sense to make 16 doors. No one will let you make 16 doors in a row. But if you have multiple entrances from multiple sides, then yes, each one warrants to have a portion. Tanu Rabbanan on the right side. The rabbi's taught in a Braita. A porch, a pavilion, and the staircase that ascends to a gallery are all accorded 4 amot for unloading purposes. When a courtyard is divided, what's a porch? 9 is a small enclosed structure that stood before the entrance of a mansion and opened into the courtyard. Okay? Pavilion. You know how people have porches today? Small porch. You have let's say you have those old school upstate houses where you have it's a ranch house, and then they have another raised, like a few stairs and a raised platform where they put their rocker and the guy sits there, right? And they have that screen door right next to him.
Usually overhang.
Yeah, and there's an overhang, exactly. So
Those are not small porches.
right. So that is called a porch. A pavilion we spoke about already. Pavilion is the roofed but no walls. And then you have a staircase that ascends to a gallery. What's a gallery? Gallery is when you go up the stairs and you have a balcony that you can oversee in front of you, right? So imagine you have
tower buildings. You come out, you in like a balcony, and then you come into different apartments.
right, like that, right. So those stairs that go up to such a gallery, you need 4 amon in front of those stairs as well, right? That person deserves that right.
For what?
What? For loading. Hayu chamisha batim ptuchin lemirpeset. For example, 5 apartments on the second floor of the building open onto the gallery. Yeah, and the residents of all 5 apartments use the same staircase to ascend from the courtyard to the gallery. And those people only get 4 amot at the foot of the staircase. That is, each resident does not receive his own loading area in the courtyard. Just as the residents of the upper floor must share the staircase, so too they must share the unloading area at the foot of the staircase. Yeah, shared driveway. By Mene Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yanai, Rabbi Yochanan asked Rabbi Yanai, Lul shetal negolin, yesh lo 4 amot or en lo 4 amot. Let's say they agreed that the one owner of a house that shares the courtyard with others, they let him put a chicken coop. He puts a chicken coop in the courtyard. They allowed him. They all agreed that he could have it. Question is, does he get 4 amot also for the chicken coop? Meaning, he should have the ability to have a loading space for the chicken coop as well. So Gemara 12. In this coop, the owner was raising chickens, another species of fowl. Rabbi Yochanan therefore asked whether the owner receives 4 amot in front of the coop in order to attend properly to the coop. Says the Gemara, Amarle Taimamai. Rabbi Yanai said, what's the reason that we give a guy 4 amot? Is it because Mishum Piruk Masao, because of unloading one's animal's burden there? Hacha matpes ve'ole matpes ve'ored. But here, the owner of the chicken coop has no unloading to do. Rather, the chickens scramble up and down over the walls of the coop to let themselves in and out. Therefore, it doesn't make sense. He doesn't need 4 amot. Good?
Where's the cue?
Yeah, he doesn't get 4 amot in a shared courtyard. By Mene Rava Nachman, Rava asked Rav Nachman, Bait chetzio mekore, chetzio eno mekore. Let's say you have a building, half of it's covered with a roof, half of it's not. And its entrance opens to a courtyard. Yesh lo 4 amot, en lo 4 amot. Does he get 4 amot or does he not get 4 amot in the courtyard? Because he doesn't have a full roof. He's not fully roofed, right? What?
So what?
So therefore, maybe only a house that you could store stuff inside. Then you could then that's what it requires 4 amot to get unloading and loading.
That was the pavilion, the academy that we were talking about.
Right, because we said that one pavilion, nobody stores anything in there.
Because it's not open.
Right, so therefore it doesn't require 4 amot.
So technically, it's exactly the same thing as a pavilion. It's
Almost.
What's the difference?
Because it's half roofed.
I understand, but it's still being shared by everybody. It's like an.
It has 4 walls. Pavilion doesn't have 4 walls.
But again, it
Doesn't cover all the way, right?
It's shared by all the residents.
What are you talking about? The guy has a house. He has 4 walls. Half his roof is missing. The question is, does he get?
But we're not talking about his house. We're talking about outside his house. He has a.
No. Building. Half of it's roofed, half is not
Yeah,
roofed.
but the building is housing multiple people.
How can you house people?
No, the building has no.
No, a house.
I think he's right.
No, it's a house.
It's a building.
Yeah, same thing.
A building, in my mind, refers to an apartment.
Okay, you could have a very spacious 2-bedroom apartment that's in a building. That's the first floor of a building, or it takes up the 2 floors of a building, and that's the whole building. It's just one unit, the whole building. And what happens? And half his roof is open, half his roof is not. And what? And the question is, does he get 4 amot for into this to share into this courtyard? So the Gemara says, Amarle and 4 amot. Rav Nachman said to Rava, he doesn't get 4 amot. Why? It doesn't goes without saying that if the covering was within and the exposed part of the structure abutted the courtyard, because it's possible to come inside the uncovered section and unload over there. Even if the covering was without abutting the courtyard and exposed section was within, It's possible to come to the inner uncovered section, unload the animal over there. 15. Having to lead the animal through the covered part of the building to reach the inner section poses no problem. Since the building is partially exposed to elements, the covered section will be sparsely furnished. Hence, there'll be room for the animal to pass through easily.
We draw them a little bit
Yeah.
confused.
So what happened was, we have like this. Okay. In LA, they have this a lot. They have this. They have like a open concept where like instead of the door just being a door, the door is the whole wall, and the whole wall moves. So it's very easy to turn your outdoor and your indoor mix, and you don't feel the difference. It's like a very open concept. So what happens? Same thing over here. You have a house, okay? You have this house, and here's the courtyard, okay? Over here's the courtyard. And what happened was that this guy had half of it roofed, half of it not. So Gemara says, if this part is no roof, okay, so then of course he doesn't deserve another 4 amot from here. Why? He could bring his animal into here and unload over here. But even if you tell me that no, that this side that's touching the courtyard is roofed, and therefore if it's roofed, therefore what? Even if it's roof, so you would think maybe if he has a roof, and this is the part that has no roof, so he to bring stuff to his house, what, he's gonna walk his animal through here to go walk all the way over to this side? Of course he needs 4 amot.
There's got to be an imaginary line, though, regardless. Even if there is no roof, his house has to have some kind of imaginary line where it says, okay, this X,
Right.
X by X is my actual house, whether there is a roof or not.
Right. But the question is, where do we give him space to unload his animal or not? Do we have to give him another 4 amot or not? So in this case, where the roof is here, this part is roofed. Maybe we could say he needs 4 amot over here because he needs to unload his animal before he goes
This is
into
Rav
the roof.
Nachman's opinion.
So the Gemara says no. Even in this case, we don't give him this 4 amot. We don't. Rather, we say walk your animal to here. You're gonna make me walk my animal through my house? The Gemara says yes. Because even if you have a roof over this part, since half of the building there's no roof, what are you gonna put here? What are you gonna put here? You're not gonna put regular indoor furniture. This room is always exposed to the elements.
So then the whole thing turns into a courtyard. The whole thing turns into a courtyard. Then if you think about it.
So therefore, the Gemara says that's why you don't get 4 amot in this case.
So how about you say that because half there is no roof, so he doesn't need to give 4 amos?
Right. Because he, anyways, in this space, how much of valuable objects he's gonna put? He's not gonna put regular wood frame bed. He's gonna put outdoor furniture and most because it's always gonna be exposed to elements over here.
Why?
What?
Makes sense.
There could still be a wall,
No, there's no wall here.
but a roof and a wall is different, Rabbi.
I understand.
Nobody.
He has 4 walls here, but he has no roof. He has roof only till here.
Wait,
The other part is open.
I have a
So
question.
you're telling me there can't be a wall?
What do you mean? There's no wall here, no.
How do we deduce
I have a
that?
shiloh whenever you
Because the Gemara is saying that no one will put fancy and expensive and things that need to be taken care of because of this part being unroofed. He will not treat this area like a regular house.
I have a
That's what the Gemara
shiloh.
is saying. And therefore, we can require him to make his animal walk through. It's not going to be that well furnished. You
We
understand?
learned in Masechet Sukkah that whenever you have 3 walls, you can extend. You know how we put the sukkah on top? You can extend this. There was a term that we used. I forgot what the name of the term is. So technically, we could take more space
Okay.
and then count from there an open area,
Okay, but the point is,
as if the roof is extended. So we get an extra, let's say 4 amot or 3 amot it was.
I think it's
Real.
Dofen Ekvama.
That was the one.
and therefore,
What do you win?
what do you want to say now?
So therefore we get more space, and then from there we can count like shared area. And if it's less than 4 amot, because you
This whole house, this whole
Does it say
part,
study?
is his private area. He owns it. It's not shared.
But how you
This
get-
is shared. This,
Yeah.
the area in front of the house. This is his private house. The whole thing.
But what's your rationale for allowing him to bring his animal and
He's fighting with us. He wants dedicated loading space in front of in the courtyard.
100% because
We
you
tell
don't
him
have the
no.
house.
We tell him no.
No, because that portion of the house doesn't have a roof, so technically nobody's living there. So use that as your loading area.
But he's saying if you switch it and if this does have a roof, right? He's saying regardless, we tell you Bring your animal to a load all the way through.
If there's no roof, load it here. If there's a roof, load it here.
Right, but if there is a roof, he's gotta go through the house.
That's fine. That's fine.
How do you do that?
Why? You know why? Because you're not gonna put carpet here. You're not gonna put fancy
So
beds.
where are you living now? This is your house. So where's your bedroom?
He lives here.
But Rabbi, if you say if there is a roof,
Alright,
then
you're
you
not
need
gonna
for
bring
Amos.
You're not gonna bring the shot through the.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, if you're living in a space, imagine half this room is open, half the room is not.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put leather chairs here. I'm not gonna put carpet here. You understand? I'm not gonna put stuff that is gonna bother me if an animal walks in through. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's exposed to elements all the time. You understand?
So you're saying, Rabbi, if there is a roof, then you need for Amos.
If there's fully roofed, you need 4 amot. If it's half,
Open.
doesn't get 4 amot.
Rabbi, you're basically telling me people living outside.
Yeah,
This guy's living outside.
yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
So he just has a little canopy on half of whatever you couldn't call it, and he's just going outside. From outside to outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
There's just a wall in between.
There's 4
outside.
walls. Yeah, there's 4
Yeah.
walls though. Yeah.
You can put a stock on top of it.
Listen.
Putting like a
So the
wall
question-
outside over here that's open.
Naria, listen. With the old school people, what do? They sleep with the windows open.
We still do that.
So Rabbi,
Right.
I want to see them do that in the wintertime, windows open, doors open.
Okay, but they're living in Babylon.
It doesn't get colder.
Yeah,
In the desert?
in the desert. No, it gets cold at night,
Actually, in Israel, it feels much colder. Like 40 degrees there feels much colder than 40 degrees here.
So the point is that since he's not going to put any fancy furnishings, so we force him to walk his animal through.
what about in Israel? Some people they have a room for the sukkah. It's not considered as a roof, so can we give him more for Amos? Let's say he's gonna bring his animal to unload.
I understand. So he has an empty space in the sky.
No, in Israel, when you have apartment, like what they do, like it's not a real roof. It's not a real roof. It's something that you can remove it and
Okay.
there's no roof.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And you put
So-
schach on top.
Yeah. So how we can do that then?
So over there, at the end of the day, he's gonna cover it during the year with regular roof, right? He's not sitting in the rain every day, right? Every day he has a real roof around his head.
Yeah,
Only in
but it's not
Sukkot he takes it out
Yeah, but it's not considered as a roof.
because it's removable.
Yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, he's gonna put fancy things inside the house, right? Because he has a roof. So therefore, we can't. And then it's a problem to make him walk the animal through because it's gonna ruin his stuff. Here, we only say we make your animal walk through because you're not gonna put fancy materials. Half the house is open. You understand? Says the Gemara, "By mine Rav Huna me Rav Ami." Rav Huna asked a question of Rav Ami. Echad b'bnei mavoy shebikesh lebitcho lemavoy acher. If a person has a resident of a mavoy who wants to reverse his house entrance to another mavoy, bnei mavoy makvin alav or ein makvin alav. Anna, here we go. Community board, ready? So if you have an entrance to one alleyway, you want to change your entrance to another alleyway, can the other residents of the other alleyway prevent them from doing so or not?
Traffic.
Okay? You hear the situation? That's the situation.
They say no.
You can have community board who could deny you access.
Unless you're part of the mafia, they can't do anything.
So look at this.
How it used to be back in Uzbekistan. Huh?
So you have one alley
Forget what's wrong with you, Danny.
and you
Scared
have
him.
another alley.
Rabbi Danny's bored. We should get him to draw on the board.
You know, it's funny when his son Josh acts like this in school, he grounds him. Someone thinks every does this.
Someone take a video, send it to his wife.
Okay, guys, ready?
My wife gets a massage all the time.
So this is Main Street.
That just cost me a lot of money.
Okay, you guys listening?
Yeah.
All right, this is Main Street and this is Wall Street. Okay. So what happens was, so this guy over here, we'll call him
Simchai.
Mr.
Chuck Jacob.
Yeah. Mr. Chak. Mr. Chak, right?
Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch.
Yes. Mr. Chak. So he has an entrance currently on Main Street.
Okay.
Okay, this is his entrance. What he wants to do, he wants to change it. He wants to close this, and he wants to have an entrance to Wall Street.
Okay.
Okay, so the Gemara says, Question is he allowed to do this, or can the people on Wall Street tell him no? We deny you building a door towards Wall Street.
Rabbi, I don't think he's just modifying his house. I think he's modifying everybody on that mobile.
Let's read the notes. Let's read the notes.
Why do they care?
So let's see. So 17. Go ahead, Rafal.
So in the Israeli times, the layout of a town usually consisted of a network of houses, courtyards, and alleyways that eventually led to the Reshut HaRabim. Normally, houses open into courtyards, which in turn open into alleys, ways that led out to the Reshut HaRabim. Should I go to 18?
Yeah.
In the Gemara's case, this resident's house was situated between two mavois. He wished to seal his old entrance, which led into Mavoy A, and create a new entrance on the other side of his house so that he could exit to the Reshut HaRabim through Mavoy B,
19.
i.e. the traffic from this resident's house passing through their Mavoy to the public thoroughfare. Meiri, however, understands that the residents of the second Mavoy may object on the grounds that they would be inconvenienced by having to detour around the 4 Amot area that the newcomer would receive in front of his entrance.
Oh, here?
Is that 2 houses on scene over there, or is that 1 house?
That's 2 houses, but the one.
No, but he's one person out of all of them.
Yes.
That wants to change his.
Yes,
and
yes.
they're concerned about traffic. They say no.
Exact. So the Gemara says, Amar le bnei mavoy makvin alav. The residents of the second mavoy can legally prevent them from creating the entrance on grounds that it would increase the traffic in their mavoy.
But I'm not necessarily, because he can still enter into. Oh no, he's going to close.
No, but now he's making a 4 Amot gap.
Yeah, right.
Now you have to walk around.
Okay, let's do a few more lines. We'll stop. Achsanya, when private citizens are required to provide quartering for soldiers of the king's army, is the quartering assignment divided according to the number of people that live in a building, or according to the people number of entrances each building has? So they used to have to give space for the king's soldiers to live. They have to host. 21. The Gemara speaks of multi-family apartment buildings with 1 or more entrances. Hence, the Gemara questions whether the number of soldiers assigned to each building is determined by the number of entrances or by the number of people or families in the building. According to the latter criteria, an apartment building housing several families but with only one entrance would be assigned only 1 unit of soldiers, right? But if you go by the people living in the house, so then you'll go by more. But if let's say you have one family living in a huge apartment building with 3-4 entrances, so then that'll make a difference also. If you go by people, they should get less. If you go by entrances, they should get more. Says the Gemara, the quartering is divided according to the number of people that inhabit each building. So since you have more people, you're gonna have more soldiers.
No.
Because the opposite.
Opposite. More people in the building, less space for more soldiers. No.
1 second.
If I have a house with an occupancy of maximum of 10 and my family is 6.
Right. Let's see. There's also a bright like this. Fertilizer that is in a joint, lying in a jointly owned courtyard, is divided according to the number of entrances that open to the courtyard. But the quartering a soldier, however, is assigned according to the number of people residing in each apartment building. Thus, even if 2 families shared 1 entrance to their building, each family was counted for purposes of determining the number of soldiers to be quartered in the building. It sounds like if there's more families, you get more people, because each family,
More than 1 person.
Right,
Let's say.
they can take care of, right. So each mom, let's say she cooks a meal, right? She could cook a meal for another soldier. There's more moms in this building, so they could host more soldiers, right? But if you go by entrances, so then forget how many moms are there. It's all about if
How many doors are there?
right. So therefore you get more soldiers because you have more doors, right? So the Gemara conclusion is you go according to families. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.